What if your entire life, your memories, your senses, your reality were a lie? What if the world you know is just a simulation, a digital illusion designed to keep you under control?
Welcome to the desert of the real.
This isn't just science fiction, this is philosophy. From Plato's cave to Descartes' evil demon, from Baudrillard's hyperreality to simulated worlds, the Matrix is a mirror reflecting our deepest questions about existence, truth, and freedom. So, let's take the red pill and explore the philosophy behind The Matrix. When The Matrix premiered in 1999, audiences were stunned by its innovative visuals, groundbreaking action, and futuristic dystopia. But beyond the bullet time and black trench coats lies a dense web of philosophical inquiry. This is not just a science fiction film. It is a cinematic vessel for some of the most profound questions ever asked by humanity. What is real? Can we trust our senses? Are we truly free? These are not just the themes of The Matrix, they are the pillars of peak philosophy. The Matrix as a philosophical allegory at its core, The Matrix is an allegory about human consciousness, perception, and control. Neo, the protagonist, begins as an ordinary man, Thomas Anderson, living a mundane existence within a simulated world. His journey is one of awakening, echoing some of the most influential philosophical narratives in history. Let's begin with Plato's allegory of the cave. In this allegory, prisoners are chained inside a cave, forced to watch shadows cast on a wall by puppeteers. To them, the shadows are reality. When one prisoner is freed and sees the world outside, he realizes the shadows were mere illusions. Similarly, Neo escapes the Matrix's digital illusion and discovers the harsh reality of a ruined Earth controlled by intelligent machines. Just as Plato's freed prisoner returns to the cave to enlighten the others, Neo attempts to awaken the minds of those still trapped. Descartes and the evil demon. René Descartes, the father of modern philosophy, asked a question that echoes throughout the Matrix. How do I know that what I perceive is real?
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
He imagined a malicious demon deceiving him into believing a false reality. This thought experiment was Descartes' way of doubting everything to find what can be known with certainty. In The Matrix, the machines play the role of Descartes' evil demon, creating an elaborate illusion that fools the minds of billions. Neo's awakening mirrors Descartes' search for certainty. When Morpheus asks Neo what is real, he forces Neo and us to confront the idea that our senses may not reflect reality. Descartes found his answer in cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am, one certainty that cannot be doubted. Likewise, Neo must build his understanding of the world anew, starting from a foundation of pure awareness. Baudrillard and Hyperreality, The Matrix also engages with the work of French philosopher Jean Baudrillard, particularly his concept of simulacra and hyperreality. Baudrillard argued that in postmodern society, symbols and simulations have replaced the real. In other words, we no longer experience reality directly but through a web of signs, media, and representations. In the film, The Matrix is the ultimate simulation, so complete that it is indistinguishable from reality. People live, work, and die inside it without ever questioning its authenticity. When Morpheus says, "Welcome to the desert of the real," he is quoting Baudrillard directly and pointing out that modern life, too, may be a simulation of meaning rather than the thing itself. Freedom, choice, and determinism, one of the most persistent themes in The Matrix, is the conflict between free will and determinism. The Oracle tells Neo he's not the one, only for him to later realize he is. Was that prophecy self-fulfilling? Is Neo making choices, or is he following a predestined path? This touches on the philosophies of existentialists like Jean-Paul Sartre, who emphasized radical freedom and the burden of choice. Sartre believed that we are condemned to be free, we cannot escape making choices, even when it's difficult. Neo's journey is not about being told he is the one, it's about choosing to become the one, despite doubt and fear. The Matrix also mirrors Kantian ethics, the idea that moral worth lies in autonomy and acting according to rational will. To be free, in Kant's view, is to act in accordance with one's own reasoned principles, not to be a slave to emotion, instinct, or manipulation. Neo becomes free not when he is told he is the one, but when he acts from conviction, when he chooses to believe in himself.
What is he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
Simulation and modern technology, while these philosophical ideas are centuries old, The Matrix brings them into the digital age. Today, virtual reality, AI, and social media platforms create alternate forms of experience and identity. Baudrillard's hyperreality is no longer just a theory. It's Instagram filters, deepfakes, and algorithm-driven perception. Our lives are increasingly mediated by digital interfaces. What we see, believe, and desire are shaped not by raw experience, but by curated digital simulations. Thus, the Matrix becomes eerily prophetic. The real question is not whether we live in a literal matrix, but whether our attention, beliefs, and decisions are already being manipulated by invisible systems just like the pods that hold the minds of humanity in the film. The hero's journey in Enlightenment, Neo's transformation from Mr. Anderson to the one mirrors the hero's journey, as described by Joseph Campbell. But it also reflects the spiritual journey of enlightenment in Eastern philosophies like Buddhism. In these traditions, awakening means realizing that the self is an illusion, and that suffering stems from attachment to that illusion. By the end of the film, Neo no longer fears death, bullets, or the rules of the Matrix. He sees through them. He becomes a kind of bodhisattva being who is awake within the illusion and seeks to free others. Conclusion: why The Matrix is peak philosophy. The Matrix is not just a movie, it's a question. A question that cuts to the heart of existence. What is real? Who are you? Are you free? These are the questions that define philosophy, and The Matrix places them at the center of a thrilling, mind-bending narrative. That's what makes it peak philosophy. It doesn't provide all the answers, but it does what philosophy does best. It disrupts, it provokes, and it dares us to wake up. So next time you watch The Matrix, remember, it's not just about dodging bullets or wearing cool sunglasses. It's about seeing past the illusion, choosing to question, and discovering the truth behind the veil. Because once you do, as Morpheus said, there's no turning back.